Asphalt Legends is a great game with tons of events. But here's the thing, each one hides a dark secret. Some are obvious, while others are more deceptive. And over time, changes have shaped these events into what we see today. My name is X2, and in today's video, we're exposing the hidden truths behind Asphalt Legends events. So sit back and relax, we've got a lot to cover. And we have a surprise guest on this channel for the first time. Number 1. Car Hunts. When car hunts were first introduced, the format was completely different from what we see now. Back then, hunts had a limited number of conditions, usually anywhere from 100 to 500. That meant within those conditions, you had great drop rates and you could actually make fast progress. But then, things changed. Gameloft scrapped the fixed conditions and made the packs infinite. The drop rates took a huge hit. Right now, the featured car blueprint drop rate sits just at 8%. To put that into perspective, with the current system, you get 3 car packs per race. If we assume a perfect situation, at an 8% drop rate, that means you're looking at about 1 blueprint every 5 races. Just stop and think about that for a second. After those 5 races, you'll need to wait roughly an hour and a half just to fully refill your tickets if you don't want to spend tokens. That's a brutal grind if you're trying to unlock or start up cars that need a ton of blueprints. And then there are key hunts, featuring cars with keys. Sounds good, right? But there's a catch, as always. You can only grab those keys if you've maxed out the car and upgraded it decently to beat the time requirement. And here's the kicker. After tanking the drop rates, Gameloft introduced the Daily Pass. With it, you get 15 tickets instead of 10, and each car hunt race costs just 1 ticket. Not only that, they doubled the packs per race from 3 to 6. So now, with the same 8% drop rate, you're averaging a blueprint every 3 races. Sounds better, right? Wrong. Because in order to actually get those blueprints without spending ages grinding, you're basically forced to pay for the pass. It's a paywall disguised as a quality of life upgrade. Honestly, Gameloft should just remove the daily pass altogether and bump up the drop rates just by a little bit. That way, players actually stand a fair chance at unlocking and starting up the featured cars of car hunts. But let's be real, that's probably never going to happen. And yeah, it sucks. This event is pretty obvious as to what is exactly happening. But up next, we've got something a lot more deceptive. Before we move on, I asked a special guest, a fellow YouTuber, I'm Performance, on what he thinks of the car hunts. He graciously agreed to share his opinions on my takes and the various events overall. So listen on.
Car hunts and key hunts has definitely been a significant part of the game. It really helps you progress further and unlock new vehicles that can actually help you in multiplayer and so on. But as X2 said, with the progress and the way that the car hunts has become, especially these key hunts, and with the introduction of special hunts, it's really been something. And in my opinion, the Ultima Ara special hunt was definitely one of the best. I grinded that hunt both with the daily event pass and without the daily event pass on 2 separate accounts. And the whole point of having to pay for the daily pass to be able to get car hunts done in a much faster time and probably even more efficient is a little unfair by Gameloft. But in my honest opinion, I think if you look at it from a perspective of what you get as a free-to-play player and what you get as a pay-to-play player, you can actually complete car hunts, because I did on multiple occasions complete car hunts without having any daily pass, and this was before the daily pass was even introduced. But it is, and you cannot deny the fact that it is very time consuming and it requires a lot of grind. And honestly, if car hunts can get worse, which in my opinion they can, because Gameloft can easily tweak the drop rates below, because there are some hunts that feels like, damn, these drop rates are terrible. Worse, I haven't gotten a blueprint in 10 races. And it's a pity. It's honestly disappointing, but that's to say in the direction the game might be going.
Number 2. Star Hunts. This one isn't that important, but I still think it would be interesting to cover. Yes, the name says Star Hunt, but it's more than just the title of an event. Star Hunts were first introduced in the British tour season of Asphalt Legends, and later made a comeback in the Korean spring update of Asphalt Legends. The event originally worked as a way to unlock a car at 1 star, or more if you already owned it. But where did Gameloft go wrong? Let's break it down. In Asphalt Legends, the first Star Hunt car was the McLaren 570S, a 50 blueprint car. It's fairly common, anyone playing for a while would probably have it. Then came the McLaren Sabre, a 70 blueprint car and a much more exclusive vehicle, since it made its debut in the Drive Syndicate 10. Without spending tokens, unlocking it was nearly impossible. After that, things eased up, with more accessible cars like the Sesto Elemento, Pagani Huayra BC, and McLaren P1. But then it went downhill again. After the P1, the Zenvo TS1 GT Anniversary appeared, requiring 60 blueprints to unlock. Then came the Bugatti Divo with 85 blueprints. Both cars couldn't realistically be obtained without spending tokens. Now, the upcoming Star Hunt is set to feature the Lamborghini Authentica. But how will that even work? The Authentica is a key car. Will the key car be available at 5 stars? At a lower star? Or will Gameloft push it as a real money purchase? Nobody knows for now. The fundamental problem with Star Hunts is that the event conditions don't change no matter how many blueprints are needed for the featured car. That's the flaw, and the big question remains, what exactly does Gameloft have in store for this event going forward? Only time will tell. Now, let's check in with I'm Performance and see what he thinks.
Okay, personally, Star Hunts are wild. Star Hunts are wild. 70 blueprint cars and 85 blueprint cars with these finite conditions to hunt it for a chance to unlock the car. We're not getting that. The Star Hunt is going to require you to spend tokens or real money in order to get that car, because Gameloft thinks these cars in their hearts are still exclusive. They want to hold back these cars because they know their value, they know their worth. So they're not going to give those cars as easily in a normal car hunt or special hunt as it's supposed to be. Now, in terms of that, I agree with the way that the Star Hunts are. I just disagree to the fact that Gameloft thinks that certain Star Hunt cars are that exclusive or that good that they want to limit the amount of blueprints that we have. If you want to give us a Star Hunt, either make sure that the car is a very rare car that we can just grab a few blueprints for. Maybe if it comes in a burst of speed later on, we can go for it with our tokens. Or make sure that it's a car that requires a key, and if somebody is possibly close to unlocking it, they get a chance to probably finish out their blueprints and then grab a rare key that won't normally come back again. And that's, I think, will be the best way to actually make the Star Hunt make sense. But in that way, I guess that's probably a key hunt, right? And in my opinion, the Authentica is going to be a joke. So let's not even go there.
Number 3. Showrooms. Most players already know about this one, so I won't spend too long here. The showroom debuted as a special event designed to let you unlock, star up, and eventually max out a featured car. On paper, it sounds like a fair system, but where things get sneaky is in the grind required to actually unlock these cars. The problem lies in the sheer number of conditions you need to complete, combined with the fuel tank limits of the cars, the ticket costs per race, and the time restrictions built into the event. When you add all of that together, it becomes nearly impossible to realistically grind out without spending either tons of time or resources. Gameloft tried to fix this by introducing the Showroom Autoplay, which lets the game run the grind for you automatically. But the catch? It's locked behind VIP level 5. That means free-to-play players or anyone not spending heavily are stuck manually running through all those conditions until they get to VIP level 5, which is a long process if you aren't spending real money into the game. And without autoplay, the showroom grind is honestly a nightmare. Then there's the quality of cars themselves. Most of the showroom cars are underwhelming, and they don't really justify the effort. There are exceptions, of course, like the Volkswagen W12 Coupe, which is competitive in its class, and the Lamborghini Sian, which is actually an amazing car to drive if you look at it in isolation. But outside of those rare cases, the payoff is really worth the grind. The Sian showroom requires 1,387 conditions to be completed in 14 days. And all of the cars in that showroom only have 3 fuel tanks. But as I mentioned, the Sian is a fun car, but not competitive in its class. If we look at another showroom, like the Aston Martin V12 Speedster showroom, you need a whopping 902 conditions in 7 days to complete this event. Why would players bother with this event when the V12 Speedster is an ugly, useless C-Class car? Makes no sense to me. So here's my advice. Don't bother with the showroom events until you reach VIP level 5 and unlock Showroom Autoplay. Without it, you'll just burn time and resources on cars that won't really help you in the long run. Trust me, you won't regret holding off. Now, let's hear I'm Performance's side of things.
Showroom is something by itself. Honestly, when it debuted, it was a very hopeful, a very great feature. It was something that had the community excited, getting these exclusive cars at a certain level. But every time Gameloft drops new events or new event types, they always introduce specific type cars. If you haven't realized that by now, there is something about it. Like when Gauntlet came, Gauntlet brought certain exclusive cars. Showroom came, Showroom brings certain lineup of cars that's supposed to be catered towards free to play players to get certain cars at a certain garage level, etc. But the grind that is required, I had to do the showroom event for the W12 two times in order to max out the car. Although I already had the key from the Grand Prix, lucky me, but regardless of the fact, it's grindy. It's too grindy for free to play players, just too grindy for somebody who is casually playing the game who are not gonna get the time to do so. I had to come back years after to do the Lamborghini Scion showroom event. And at this point in time, now I have the autoplay features, and I took that 14 days. And even with the autoplay feature, guys, it still took 14 days. X2, it still took 14 days in order for me to finish the Cyan showroom. And I'm glad because, yes, I got to max it, but only because I already had the Cyan at 3 stars. So it's one of these events that is just, man, do I really want to put my efforts into this? Do I really want to spend my time and energies into the showroom? This is too much. It's too much. Gameloft needs to revamp the showroom feature. They need to do it different because there is no way that there's no way the showroom is gonna last. I won't be surprised if they vault the feature and remove it completely at some point in time, but if it's specifically dedicated to free-to-play players, then I guess it's here to stay.
Number 4. Special events. Special events are the most common type of event in Asphalt, with at least 2 running every season. Over time, we've seen spin-offs like the Mayhem event and the Link special event. But here's the problem. Something isn't right with how they've been structured lately. In the past few months, I've started noticing patterns that can really add up over time. Take the Koenigsegg Jesko special event that's happening right now. One of the requirements is using an overclocked car. That might sound fine at first, but here's the catch. Players only get a limited number of overclock chips per season from the overclock showcase. So when an event forces you to waste them on cars you don't actually care about, just to clear the 5 conditions per stage, you're burning through a scarce resource that might be needed for something else way more important later on. And that's just one issue. In other cases, you're required to upgrade a car to a certain rank in order to move forward. Look at the Volkswagen W12 Coupe event as an example. As if draining your tokens, your overclock chips, and your money wasn't enough, now the game wants your credits too. Honestly, what difference does it make if my car is stock or maxed out? If I can beat the conditions, just let me pay the event in peace. This constant push, forcing upgrades, spending and resource drains, creates a ripple effect. Because as soon as one event ends, the next one comes along. And suddenly, all those wasted tokens and credits start to matter a lot more. And it affects the next event on my list. Let's throw it over to I'm Performance now.
Special events. Yeah. The condition of using overclock cars is stupid. I don't ever do it. I don't do it at all. I don't do it. I leave it right there and I don't even bother to overclock my cars at all. This is so strange because there was once a point in time where every new special event that came, I couldn't even get past stage 3. I couldn't even get past stage 5, much less to even reach that point. There were points in time where the special events in the earlier days required you to have cars at max. They required you to have cars at max gold. They required you to have specific cars that are released in the current season. So that made it even worse because you couldn't even get anywhere without even getting the new cars that dropped in that season. Much less for if the special event car that is featured already comes with a bunch of exclusive cars as featured to get the main car. Oh man, special events, it's a whole runaround. The Link special events were decent. Then we had the whole thing about the Mayhem events jumping in with the CC850 debuting. And then the first one actually was the Ferrari 499P Modificata. That Mayhem event was amazing. The Mayhem events are an excellent addition to the game. It is Gameloft showing its true of what they can do for the free-to-play community. It is something that I would always encourage my viewers, my subscribers to go for, because don't waste the chance. There's a lot of free blueprints, tons of that you can get, and most of the time when they feature is always a key car in the mayhem events, which is an excellent thing, and most of the time they are really good cars. The Lotus, the W12, the CC850, the 499 Modificata. These four cars are top cars in their classes, coming in these mayhem events, giving out a lot of blueprints even for its support cars. They are necessary to be done. And special events, man, overclock condition is horrible. Overclock condition is a waste of time. The changes of the special events over time, as I mentioned previously, they have changed and changed and changed and changed. And it will continue to change, because as you see, most of our special events these days are just 13-day special events, meaning that we're not even getting much rewards as we used to, because GameLoft is cutting it up in shorter periods of time and cutting it up in the stages, having to have the cars from 1 star to max in those stages. So the changes are unreal, and it's just becoming worse and worse, and I hope that GameLoft sees this, but I guess they're trying to balance it out with the mayhem events. So all in all, I guess we could probably agree that the game is doing its best to keep its free-to-play player base, but I think its best is what needs to improve.
Number 5. Special Hunts. Special Hunts are still the most friendly event for free-to-play players. You do get a great car with enough grinding. But let's look beneath the surface. A Special Hunt focuses on one car at a time, with different stages tied to each star of the car. The structure is similar to car hunts, except you must star up and upgrade the featured car to keep progressing. The key is unlocked at the penultimate stage, but the catch is that you need to have the car at its golden rank. There are only 2 exceptions: the ADS Automobile Corsa and the Chevrolet Corvette ZR1, which are blueprint cars, so you could technically unlock them, then not play the special hunt. This is where credits and overclock chips become critical. Yes, you can grind the event to earn enough credits to gold the car. But why should players have to turn a game into a second job? Asphalt is meant to be played for fun, not treated like a full-time task, especially when most of us already have busy schedules. Overclock chips help by boosting a car's rank by around 100 points, making golding possible without maxing every upgrade. But here's the problem. If you're forced to spend those chips on filler stages and special events, you may not have enough left to finish golding the car for its key. Then there are the drop rates. Even with the credits and chips, the early stages, especially the epic import stages, are a pain. The drops are so bad that some players quit early, while others skip farming epics and just do the bare minimum to unlock the car, like I did with the SC18 special hunt. And honestly, I don't blame them. I've played special hunts myself, and the experience was miserable towards the end. Finally, the bigger issue is resource drain. Tokens, credits, overclock chips, everything gets stretched thinner because GameLoft has started pushing more special hunts back to back, each featuring cars with massive upgrade costs. For example, in June of 2025, we got the Rimac Nevera Time Attack special hunt, which requires 42 million credits to gold. Then in August 2025, we got the Lamborghini SC18 special hunt, which requires 32 million credits to gold. In the next update, the Crimson Equinox update, we will get the Porsche 935 special hunt, and that car also requires 32 million credits to upgrade. On one hand, I do like that we're seeing more special hunts, since they're the best way for free-to-play players to get good cars. But when the costs are this high, and the events come in such short intervals, the grind becomes overwhelming. So yes, special hunts are great, but keep in mind how much GameLoft pushes you to drain your resources using special events, as I explained. Now, on to the final event. Number 6. Spotlights. I've already covered spotlights in great detail in another video, so I won't spend too much time here. When they first launched with the Easter Extravaganza event, they were actually amazing. Easily one of the best events in Asphalt Legends. But ever since that event, they've only gone downhill, with rare exceptions like the 20th anniversary spotlight. The current LEGO Technic Spotlight is without exaggeration the worst one yet. And with the upcoming Event 7 Fold Spotlight, I can't help but wonder, will GameLoft somehow make it worse than LEGO's? Honestly, I don't even know how they could do that. But if anyone can, it's them. Or maybe, just maybe, they'll actually ease up things for once. As for the future of Spotlights, that's anyone's guess. We just have to wait and see. And let's hear Iron Performance's concluding remarks for this video.
Thank you so much for having me and in putting my opinions and my thoughts on this video. X2, really good content creator, guys. He goes in depth in his explanations, he goes in depth in these discussion videos. I really want you guys to subscribe to him because we both do different types of content, but X2 gets down to the nitty gritty of what needs to be heard about the community. So make sure to like and subscribe on his video, guys.
Once again, massive thanks to Unperformance for taking out the time to share his views. They are always welcome and valuable. And so, there you have it. 6 of Asphalt Legends' biggest events and the hidden flaws that make them way more complicated than what they seem on the surface. Some issues are obvious like car hunts, while others are sneaker like the correlation between special events and special hunts. But together, they shape the game in ways most players don't even notice until it's too late. Right now, the only event that still feels solid is the Gauntlet. But honestly, who's to say Gameloft won't find a way to mess this up too somewhere down the line? At the end of the day, Asphalt Legends is an amazing game. But if Gameloft keeps piling on these rings and paywalls, the gap between casual players and heavy spenders is only going to get wider. And many players may quit the game after all this burden and stress the game is giving. The question is, do Gameloft care enough to fix it, or are we just along for the ride? Either way, I'll be here breaking it all down for you. My name is X2, and this was the truth behind Asphalt's events. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that button, subscribe, and stick around, because the next video, you don't want to miss it. I'll catch you in the next one.